Collective, hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Collective, we have the riddle and the shaman, the father, the unseen, and the crone. Well, I feel like the question is what do I need to let go of in order to, I just feel like step away from a room full of pedestals. Because every pedestal you put yourself on, you're going to fall down off of, right? So, and every pedestal that other people put you on, you're going to fall down off of because we're only human, right? Because we can only try to improve. And I feel like there's the sense of like, not like, I don't even know what to improve at this point. What am I supposed to let go of? The unseen is the idea of dreams, aberrations, otherworldly experiences, and the crone is the idea of knowledge, right? I mean, you have the maiden, the mother, and the crone has gone through the experiences, has gleaned the insight, knows what can be taken and what needs to be left behind. So yeah, collective. Let's see what else we can get for us. I hope everyone's having a lovely day today. I am. Okay. Collective. The magician. The Queen of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Five of Cups. Well, again, I just feel like this, what am I supposed to let go of? What do I need to do in order to step into my magic? And for some of you, it could be that it's somebody who you want to be in a relationship with, but you're just kind of like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I need to do to make this right? Okay, we keep getting the question, but let's do more clarifiers. Temperance, Justice, Nine of Swords, Strength, and the Seven of Pentacles. Well, again, I get this sense of like what needs to be done in order to bring something into justice, because the idea, I feel like in terms of the shaman, it's like, I don't know what to let go of. I don't know what's blocking me. I don't know what's standing in my way right now that's preventing me from coming into the justice of all that I've been holding on to and all that I've been working on, because I've been working on things. I've been holding on to things. I've been dreaming, vision boarding, journaling, doing all the things that we do to, like keep track of ourselves along the way to make sure we're headed in the right direction. And I feel like whatever that has been for you, whatever that source of just keeping track of things along the way has been for you, I think that when you look back through that, what you discover is like what you were holding on to, what you were developing. And also, I think what was throwing you out of balance, because whatever it was throwing you out of balance, like I just feel like it takes a lot of strength, right? I mean, if you think about like balance exercises, right? Like so like a really, really simple one to do is just stand on one leg, like with one leg up with your knee bent, and then, like keep your balance and do that for, if you can do it for 5 minutes, do it for 5 minutes. Do the other side. Do that. Your external balance or your ability to maintain an external balance is representative of the external balance that you have in the world. Now do that again with your eyes closed. And you'll find that it's a lot more difficult. And that is more of a representation of your internal balance. And I feel like, guys, find your balance, figure out what your balance is, and release the things that are throwing you out of balance. I kind of get the feeling that it's going to take strength to do that, right? I mean, it takes strength to do anything that we really want to do. And while strength oftentimes can read through as that, like, oh my God, like, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to be strong for? I don't really feel like that's the case, because I feel like, well, I mean, it can be, because sometimes, like if you think about releasing something, it's like prying somebody's fingers off, you know what I mean? And maybe for some of you, it's like you're prying your own fingers off, because you know what's throwing you out of balance, and you know what you need to do. And I feel like ultimately the answer to the question is, what is it that you need to let go of in order to reach out to get what it is that you want? And you know, you are in control of that, right? And you are aware of yourself in a way that enables you to stop and reflect and figure out what's throwing you off out of balance, and why it is that you can't get what it is that you want, and what it is that you're holding on to, like with like a death grip, right? Okay. Collective. Ooh. The Ace of Swords, Temperance again. Yeah, because I really do kind of get the feeling, well, like the image that comes to mind with that energy is like rock climbing. Anybody who's ever been rock climbing before, oh, it's so scary. But there's a lot of balance involved with it, right? Like I have to, like I'm holding on to this one ledge, and in order to get to that other ledge, like I have to release this one and swing and grab this one, right? And it's just kind of like, I feel like that's where you're at right now, is just like you're holding on to a ledge, and you need to swing and grab the next one. But that takes strength of mind, strength of character, strength of, because it's so easy for us to just like give up on things, right? I mean, like it's easy to just let things fall to the wayside. And I feel like for a lot of us, it's been that we've let things fall to the wayside because we were, like holding on to one thing, and now we're releasing that thing, and all the things that had fallen to the wayside are now being taken care of. And I feel like once we start taking care of the things that we need to take care of, like truly, I just feel like the doors are opening to us left and right. And the balance that we had been seeking. This was in another read. I don't remember whose it was, but it was the idea of like being whiplashed back into balance, instead of feeling like you were like whiplashed and like knocked out of balance, kind of like the opposite of that. And that's the energy here again, is just this idea of like feeling like you've come into balance, because you kept developing yourself, and whatever it was that you were holding on to while you were developing yourself, I feel like is the thing that you're having to let go of, so that you can reach that next level. All right, collective, moving on up. Eros and the Village. Ooh, well, I don't know, because there is kind of an idea of a relationship here, but I almost feel like this idea of a relationship that's just kind of like, well, yeah, because we had what, like the Capulets and the Montagues for like a hot minute, like a month ago, So maybe some of my people are in that energy here, and it's just kind of that idea of like something that you really want, or like a relationship that you really want, or like a project that you really want to do, and you can't do it as long as you are rolling with these people who just keep you held in this place. So you had to release those people, but sometimes that's terrifying, right? I mean, like I can't tell you how many times I've moved in my life. I think the longest I ever lived in one place was like 6 years. But growing up, we moved every year, every other year. We moved houses constantly. Like it was always something wherever we were. I could not even list you all of the reasons, but there was always something happening, and we were always moving. And so I think that like, just like in my life, I have a tendency to move. And then also I think ancestrally, like it's just like in my DNA to move around. And I say that because I think that when you move around a lot, you're on the outside looking in oftentimes at people who don't move. And so you see the village play itself out over and over and over again in all these different scenarios and all these different environments. And so I don't know why I share that other than that I think maybe that resonates with you, where you just feel like, no, you know what? Like I can recognize that, like when I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for a relationship that connects with me as an individual, because I'm not like, my concern isn't whether or not I can connect with your village. Like in fact, I have every desire in the world to not be a part of any village. You know what I mean? And so it's just kind of one of those things where I mean, I think that you feel that way, and when you recognize that you feel that way, you're able to release the people, places, things that you were holding on to, with a recognition of the fact that, like that's just like not your vibe, and it would prevent you from really experiencing, I think, that like the love and the type of relationship that you sincerely desire. Because I don't know. I mean, and like I said, I've witnessed many a village and a plethora of relationships within them. And, I think one of the things that I've always witnessed that I've always wanted to avoid in my own personal life, because gratitude to the people who teach us the things that we don't want to have to learn on our own. It's easier if we can learn it through other people's mistakes. And so, when we see people making those mistakes, we can acknowledge it without judgment and actually acknowledge it with a sense of gratitude. But, gratitude to the times that I bore witness to relationships that weren't able to sustain themselves because they capped out at what everybody else had to say, what everybody else was doing, where everybody else was living, where everybody else was. It was just like always about what everybody else was doing, and they lost the connection, that they had no connection. And so they would split, and I say they, and I can say that in a really broad term. I mean, half of us who've been married are divorced. More than half of us who've been married have been divorced. But I share all of this because I just feel like there are things in our lives, whether it's for, like things that we're doing at work, where we're growing into roles, and we're getting these opportunities, and we're recognizing, okay, as I take on these opportunities, like I really need to just kind of release the need to hold on to these opportunities. And I think a lot of that has to do with, for many people, an energy of like wanting to, well, I mean, and I do. I have a lot of people here who are like the lone wolf people, like myself included, because I don't roll deep in people. I don't. I would rather not give those people the right to represent me. I would entirely rather represent myself, because I have a lot more trust in myself than I do in the people. Like that's not to say that I don't trust people. I trust lots of people. But I don't allow them to be my sense of identity. I trust them because I love them and I've built solid relationships with them. But again, anyways, I just feel like I'm sharing all this for a reason, so I'll just go ahead and share it. But, oh yeah, the Capulets and the Montagues. I feel like if that's what it is for you, then there is kind of this sense of like, well, are you trying to be equally yoked to your partner? Or are you trying to be equally yoked to the world? Because if you're trying to be equally yoked to the world in any way, form, or fashion, you're going to be out of balance with people who are, I just feel like, diversified. But, that's the point of villages oftentimes, is that they offer you a sense of identity that limits you. But, like you don't have to worry about doing anything more than that, So I don't know. Definitely gonna have to go back and watch this. So take what resonates, how it resonates for you, and leave the rest, because these are general reads. And I do feel like I have a few people here who are like coming with some energy. So I don't know if I was cohesive with all of that. Hopefully I was, fingers crossed. If not, I'm going to have to do this again. But anyways, thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me, collective. If this does resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.